We are back here for the NFL Week 5 game picks, predictions, and betting locks here as we have a fantastic slate cooked up for you guys. But before we get into that, have to get to the recap here of Week 4 and Thursday night there, Lions at Packers. That was all Lions early on, and they closed it out late. 17-point dominant victory to take sole position of NFC North lead there. Then the London game was all Jags. We had a betting lock on that one that actually hit as well, along with the Lions. Then Bills hosting the Dolphins in a great matchup there, proved to be all Buffalo there at home. Also had a betting lock on that. Then Vikings won at the Panthers there to get their first win of the season. That was another betting lock win. Then Broncos at Bears. We had the Broncos there winning that, and they win by 3, so they ended up pushing, but a heroic comeback to potentially save their season there in Chicago. Brutal loss for the Bears. Then Ravens at Browns. We had the Ravens as a betting lock and the under in that one, so the double hit there. Then Steelers at Texans. Had the Steelers in this one, also a betting lock -2.5, proved to be a very poor play as Houston won big at home there. The Steelers offense is in shambles so far. Then Rams at Colts. Didn't have a betting lock here, but we had the Colts winning. They came back late after being down 23-0 to tie it up, but unfortunately the Rams ended up winning that one in overtime there. That was a very entertaining game. Then Saints hosting the Bucks. We had the Saints here. Did not have a betting lock in this game as I was not very confident, but the Bucks won big in New Orleans, which was very surprising there. Derek Carr did not play well against that Bucks defense. Then the Eagles, we had them against the Commanders. They did not cover our spread, even though they did win by 3 in overtime there. Commanders kept it close and very entertaining game as it went to overtime. Then we had the Bengals lock against the Titans. That did not hit as the Titans won big at home there. Surprise blowout. And then we had the Chargers spread, barely held on against the Raiders there with no Jimmy G for Las Vegas late. Then the Cowboys hosted the Patriots, won big there. Niners over the Cardinals. And then in prime time, our lock of the week got absolutely screwed as Mahomes went down for the slide late instead of going for the cover. Him scoring the touchdown there would have covered the spread, and it looked like they would early on 17-0, but then the Jets actually came back, made it a close game there. So tough beat, loses our lock of the week for the first time, now 3-1 on the season. And then we had the Seahawks in a lock against the Giants in that Monday night game. So overall 12-4 in the game picks, but absolutely massive week for the betting locks. As I mentioned there, morning slate was pretty good. We had that string of W's, and then the afternoon slate pretty good as well. And then Monday night with the Seahawks hit also, so up 3.5 units on the week, gets us up to 4.3 on the season, which is right around where we want to be, about a unit up per week here. And also reminder to join the Discord, link is in the description here, as we have been massively successful, now up 27 units on the year, which is our high point year to date. And we have a lot of action coming with MLB playoffs. And then, as you guys know, we've been very good with the college football locks, over 10 units up on there. So hopefully we catch up with these NFL picks here. So with that being said, we see the betting locks record again, up 3.5 units, up 4.3 on the year. And then the game picks are very good, 45-19. That is much better than we were hitting last year. So hope to keep that up here. So now we get into the NFL Week 5 slate, and this one, Bears Commanders. This one, a very ugly Thursday night matchup here in Washington. In this one, we will be taking the Commanders at home. Just cannot trust this Bears team at all. It looked like they had it last week against a horrible Broncos team, and they ended up choking it late. Now, I think Fields did show some signs in that game, especially early on, that he was good throwing the ball, and I do not think that this Commanders defense is special by any means. So I think that the Bears could put up some points, maybe 24-27 there, and Justin Fields could look impressive, but I just trust the Commanders team. Taking that Eagles team to overtime there in Philadelphia was a spectacular sight for them, so I think they do win this one at home there. Then we get to another London game here, Jags playing the Bills in this one, and obviously the Bills looked very, very good against the Dolphins. They've looked really good the last 3 weeks, to be honest, ever since that Monday night fiasco against the Jets there when Aaron Rodgers went down and they collapsed. But going across the pond here, the Jags have already been there for a week, already looked great against the Falcons. I think this one is going to be a very close game. Would not shock me if the Jags pull off the upset here. Give me the Bills to win, but very close. I expect this one to be very entertaining in that Sunday morning game in London, but ultimately I just like Josh Allen over Trevor Lawrence, and I think that Bills defense is playing superb football, so I think they are slightly superior to the Jags at this point. Next, we get to the Texans at the Falcons. This is really just a coin flip game for me. It's in Atlanta, sure, but I really like the way that the Texans have been playing, so I'll narrowly take them. I just think C.J. Stroud at this point is better than Desmond Ridder. Ridder disappointing the last couple of weeks against the Lions, and Jags maybe he's been figured out by these opposing defenses as they have not scored more than 7 the last couple of weeks. I think that there will be some opportunities to be made against this Texans defense, who is not great, but they did stifle Kenny Pickett last week. But ultimately, I just think Stroud and the boys get it done there, even on the road, to get to a winning record there. there. Next, we get to the Lions hosting the Panthers. Give me the Lions to win this one. Pretty obvious pick here, as the Panthers 0-4 at this point, and the Lions looking like one of the best teams in the league at 3-1, also coming off the extra rest from playing that Thursday night game. Would not shock me if the Panthers put up a good fight here, made it a game in the fourth quarter. Bryce Young might be improving a little bit, and I think that this Lions defense is not too good, but still here, give me the Lions to win big. I just think Jared Goff will be able to dice up this Panthers defense, especially at home there. Next, we get to an AFC South matchup, Titans and Colts. Another coin flip type game similar to the Texans and the Falcons. And again, give me the away team with the Titans here. They always play great against the Colts. I think they have a bit of a win streak piled up in the last few years against them, and I think they extend it here. They've been a far different team away from home and at home this season. 2 impressive victories against the Chargers and Bengals so far at home, and disappointing losses to the Saints and Browns on the road. In this one, I think they get it going here against the Colts team, who's decent so far, but I just think that Vrabel's disciplined, well-coached team will get it done here on the road, and they can stack 2 impressive performances again. I think that Tannehill and that offense will be consistent enough against this bad Indianapolis defense to win it for them there. Next, we get to the Dolphins at the Giants. This one will be the blowout of the week. Give me the Dolphins to win big here against New York at home. The Giants have been just one of the worst teams in the league, and they've been on primetime 3 of the 4 weeks here. Do think that they could have a bit of a bounce back in this one, but I just think that the Dolphins have a bounce back in their own right at home after that struggle in Buffalo last week. I think that their offense gets it done, and I think that their defense stifles Daniel Jones once again there, so give me Miami big. Next game, we got the Saints at the Patriots. 2 teams needing a win right now, and very close spread here in New England. Give me New Orleans to win this one. I just have a little more trust in them, even though they did not play well at all against the Bucs last week at home. But the Patriots, it just looked like they were completely demoralized in Dallas there with that 38-3 loss. Wouldn't shock me if Bill Belichick came out with a masterclass here. But so far, New England's only win was that 5-point ugly game against the New York Jets. So right now, I'm going to take the Saints to win this one. Although Derek Carr and that offense need to play better, I think that they will play slightly better, and I think this one will be an ugly game there. Low scoring in New England, and the Saints will come out on top. Next, we get to our lock of the week here. Looking to get back on track, AFC North game. Give me the points with the Steelers +5 there in Pittsburgh. This is at home. This is a desperation game after they looked terrible on the road against the Texans. I think this one is a classic bounce back for a well-coached team. Mike Tomlin is going to have the boys ready to go. And the Ravens have already beaten the Bengals and the Browns on the road. If they beat the Steelers here, they would take firm control of the AFC North here, and I don't think Pittsburgh is going to let them off easy here. Still like the Ravens to win the game, but Steelers and all the points +5 here. This rivalry matchup in the AFC North, always low scoring and always close, so I trust that Kenny Pickett will have a better performance here. Matt Canada, hopefully it's a more robust offensive scheme, and I think that the Steelers will stop Lamar Jackson to a certain degree here to make it close. Maybe a field goal late wins it for the Ravens here, but give me the Steelers +5 for the lock there. Next, we get to the afternoon games, Bengals at the Cardinals, and in this one, I'm going to be taking the Bengals again, even though recent performances would lead you to believe that the Cardinals would win this game, as they didn't look horrible last week against the Niners, and they did beat the Cowboys the week before that, showed life against the Giants, but just think that the Bengals need to get it going at some point, and I think that Joe Burrow and this offense will finally have a decent performance here in Arizona there to get the win. Next, the Eagles traveling to LA cross country here. Was tempted to pick the Rams here because I think this is a sneaky upset spot, but I'm going to be taking the Eagles to win that one just because I think that their dominant ground game will be able to overpower this Rams defense there, and I think that their pass rush will overwhelm this Rams offensive line there over the course of the game, as we saw when the Niners played the Rams, so give me the Eagles to win there. Although if Stafford has a masterclass in this one, do not be shocked if LA pulls off the upset. Next game, we have 2 desperate teams, Broncos and Jets, 1-3, need a win. Lots of hype surrounding this game early on in the season, but both of these teams have gone south after that. In this one, I'll take the Broncos in the Mile High to get this win. I just think that Russell Wilson is the better quarterback, and the Broncos have the better offense here. I know the Jets showed flashes on that Sunday night game against the Chiefs, but I do not think that's anything sustainable there. I think Zach Wilson will return to his turnover-prone ways here. I think he'll have a couple devastating mistakes, and I think the Broncos get it on track here with a win to get to 2-3 there in Denver. Next game, we get to the Chiefs at the Vikings. Very entertaining game in store for us here, I think, and I think we get the Vikings to win it late on a field goal. I do not think that this Chiefs defense will be able to stifle this Vikings offense. I think they got it going last week against the Panthers, and I think that they're due to win one of these close games here. They got screwed really the first 3 weeks, did get it back on track against Carolina, and I think they continue the momentum. Tough environment here in US Bank, and I think that Mahomes will be stopped a little bit. He did not look great in that matchup on Sunday Night Football. Threw some curious passes and got 2 intercepted against the Jets. Could have been more, to be frank, and the connection with Kelsey wasn't all there. I think that the Vikings could exploit that a little bit here at home. I think that the Vikings get it done. Will be a bit of a shootout there. Could go either way, but I'll take Minnesota and the upset in that one. And then we get one of the games of the year so far on paper, Cowboys at Niners, rematch of the last two playoff games that they've played. Niners have won both of those. I'll take the Niners to win this one, but boy, am I excited for this one. These teams both have great defenses, great front sevens, but I think that both of their secondaries can get exploited here. So whoever throws the ball down the field better, I think will have the better game. And also, both of their offensive lines are a bit leaky there, so expect maybe Javon Hargraves, Nick Bosa to get a few sacks here for the Niners, or maybe Micah Parsons and those other Cowboys D linemen to get to Brock Purdy there. But ultimately, I think Christian McCaffrey is the difference maker in this game for the Niners at home. Had 4 touchdowns last week, and I think he will get it done from a receiving and running standpoint there. And finally, we get to the Monday night game where it's the Packers against the Raiders here, and I have no clue to who to pick here. I'm assuming that Jimmy G will be playing for the Raiders, so I'll take Las Vegas to win there at home. Not confident in this pick whatsoever, but I think that the Raiders did play hard last week. And in these last 2 losses, the Steelers and Chargers were disappointing, but they did come back late and made great efforts there, whereas the Packers really just folded last week at home against the Lions. I think this one will be a very close game, but I just think that Jimmy G is slightly better than Jordan Love at this point in time. I think that these teams are pretty even there. It's also in Las Vegas, so give me the Raiders to win that one there. So with that being said, let me know what you guys think of my predictions in the comments down below. As always, I'll remind you to join the Discord. Link is in the description if you want some winning betting picks here. We have a massive NFL slate loaded up for this week, over 10 total betting picks, so you will not want to be missing out there.